What you're about to see might be some of the most disgusting aquariums in the world ever. Today's a big day. We are finally demolishing the tanks behind me, my 2 10-gallons and my 20-gallon, because these aquariums have basically just been overwhelmed with algae and other nasty things, and we're finally taking care of it and cleaning them completely out. But before we start this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button if you haven't already. We're going to be posting some awesome videos soon, and I'm sure that you will love them. I have a feeling. But guys, let's just get into it. Starting with my 20-gallon, it's been completely covered with green hair algae, and almost all the plants have either died or been completely smothered by the algae. So to make my life easier, I decided to drain the aquariums at about halfway, making sure I didn't suck up any of the fry or fish and shrimp. I'm going to be removing all the hardscape items and the fake plants because we're going to be starting fresh with this aquarium. Now I'm going to be filling up the aquarium so I'll be able to re-siphon it and suck out all the detritus and other nasty stuff at the bottom of the aquarium that I wasn't able to get the first time. So right now the aquarium looks really cloudy, but that's going to be going away eventually, so we're going to start and move on to our other aquariums. So these 2 10-gallons are going to be a lot of work. It's a smaller aquarium which makes it harder to move around, so I decided to just remove all the rocks and to keep the soaked driftwood inside the aquarium so it won't have to dry out, and then eventually when I add it back in, it'll have to re-soak water. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So yeah. After sucking it out and removing the rest of the algae and other hardscape items, I filled it back up and moved on to my other 10-gallon. This tank went by a lot quicker, honestly. There was a lot less algae and there wasn't as many hardscape items, and it went by in a breeze. Oh my gosh. Look at this. This is a bladder snail. Okay, bladder snails are supposed to be like small snails, like this. Those guys are bladder snails. They're so tiny and this thing is huge. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to save him. I don't know where I can put him because he'll just blend. Is he sucking onto me? Ew. Okay, that's kind of cute. Okay. Okay, I don't know what I want to do with this guy. He's like sucking onto me. I want him to like live. I want to put him somewhere where I won't lose him because he's huge. Don't eat him. Please don't. No! Don't! He is a friend. He is not food. Get away from me, angelfish. Get away. This is food. This is food. Don't go for the snail. Alright. Thanks. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours and now the aquariums are starting to clear up and start looking really cool. However, now I'm noticing some of the spots of algae that I missed, and I'll be having to go back in and remove all the rest of the nastiness. Also, during the transition, I decided to transfer some of the shrimp from my 60-gallon into my 20-gallon because that tank needs a bigger cleanup crew. Plus, there's no really hostile anything like betta fish or anything that'll be able to eat the shrimp. So they'll be able to live and grow up and be healthy, which is really awesome. I also decided to remove some of the filter pads and start cleaning them out a little bit. And I also added a lot of duckweed to the top of the aquarium. Duckweed's gonna help with naturally filtering out the water, as well as I love having duckweed in my aquariums, or at least floating plants in general. You guys can actually pick up some of this duckweed on wildpetsupply.com, straight out of my own aquarium, shipped to you directly. Pretty awesome. Check it out down below. Use the code. I don't even know the code. I guess I'll come up with one on screen. You guys will get 10% off your order on top of already reduced prices, so that's pretty clutch. You're welcome. So now that the aquariums are empty, it's going to be opening up my wide variety of different things that I can do to these tanks. I can completely escape them. I honestly am going to leave them empty for a little bit more, just so if I see any more algae blooms, I'll be able to remove them before I add fresh new plants. You might have seen the video where I showed you guys my new guppies in my 20-gallon, and they look so cool. And I'm sure they appreciate the big open aquarium now that all the nastiness and other things are removed from the tank. Along with my betta fish and my shrimp and my other tanks, I'm sure they're going to love the new open tanks. I've been talking a lot about the hardscape in the aquariums, I have all this driftwood. I also have a lot of dragonstone and suru stone and also slate stone. So that's gonna be awesome. I was thinking with these two tanks having like a yin and yang tank, where I'd have one tank being white and one tank being black, and kind of having polar opposite tanks. Like maybe if one is scaped with like a certain type of stone, or like the stone is angled a certain way, the other tank could have it in opposite direction. So it'd be kind of like a butterfly effect. I don't know, it'd be really cool. So make sure you guys comment and let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear your advice, because you guys know how indecisive I am, and I always want to do tons of different ideas, but you know, it's me. I'm basically set on my 20-gallon aquascape. I think it's gonna look dope. I'm already starting to draw it out. Before I make my tanks, I typically draw them out. That's what I did with my 90-gallon. Before I got all my swords and other plants, I kind of drew them in and saw what they look like. It's just a nice way to represent the aquariums before you buy all the supplies and set it all up. So that's really nice. So for some of you OG Challenge the Wild fans that like know everything and remember when I first started, you'll remember that this is the second aquarium that I've ever owned, my big 20-gallon long, and it's honestly my favorite style aquarium just because I love the length over the depth in aquariums. I prefer having a longer one than like a super tall one, you know, like a 20-gallon tall I don't really like. I prefer 20-gallon long. Then I also got these two aquascaping aquariums, and they're on other sides of the fish room. Like the 10 gallons were over there, the 20-gallon was over there, but I kind of combine them all together because I want my nano tanks to be next to each other. That way I can do some cool things. So one thing I was considering about doing is removing the two lights here and adding a longer one across both of them. That'll be more energy efficient, plus there'll be more of an equal lighting. The lights on these aquariums are like from the stock tank, and they're super powerful. Like they're really bright from JBJ, super amazing. But you guys know I typically prefer to have beginner plants just because they're easier to maintain, and typically they look pretty cool too. Of course, some of those fancy ones that require like an entire CO2 setup, which also leads me on to my next couple points. So with all my nano tanks together, I can have combined lighting. Also, I can have combined filtration. There's two things I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about possibly having a sump and having both of the aquariums drain into it and having a cool filter system, and maybe even my 20-gallon too. But that would be a ton of work. But more realistically, I was thinking about having sponge filters all set up to one air pump. That'll lead into all these aquariums. I'll keep my hang on the back in this tank just because it's a really good filter, the Marina Slim filter, I think. But having that all linked together will be really awesome, not only for energy efficiency, but also it'll just be cool to have like an all-in-one system that's like built together and between different tanks. Now another point with that is I do have a CO2 setup. I haven't really used it. I used to have it in my 90-gallon, but honestly, I don't really like having those like super fancy plants. But if I was able to spread the CO2 between all of these three tanks, I could have different diffusers and different things like separating the CO2. That'd be really cool, because then I'd be able to have fancy plants in all these aquariums, and the plants that I have in them would grow faster. So that's something I'm thinking about doing. I'll have like an all-in-one life support system, which would be really dope. If you guys think that's a cool idea, comment it down below. I love to read your guys' comments. But I think that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Check out the other videos up here. We've been posting quite a few new videos. I've been working hard editing, setting everything up, making sure it looks beautiful for you guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I will catch you all on the flippity flop. Again, make sure you check out wildpetsupply.com. Down below, amazing products for your dogs, cats, reptiles, small animals, and of course, your aquariums. If you need a new cleanup crew, we have some snails on there. If you need more food, we have food on there. Just some awesome stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you all on the flippity flop. See you all later. Bye.